Hey guys, welcome to a new episode of SCNS Live, the super cool nerd show. And we had a little bit of technical difficulties. We're sorry we're a little bit late. It's not our fault.
Just a tad.
It's not my fault.
It's Jason's fault.
It's 100% Jason's fault.
I am totally Han Solo in this. This is not my fault. Anyway.
It's always his fault.
We're Chewy, just like...
Thank you for joining us on Twitch and YouTube this week. We appreciate it. Okay, I am Jason the X. To my left, we've got Kat. What the... So, further to the left, we have Cass.
I am back. After classes and after pestilence, I came through it all and I am here.
Patient Zero over here.
Yeah.
We couldn't get her to wear the face mask.
The death, the little, the doctor mask.
I
or
wanted
whatever.
her to wear
the
the
plague doctor
plague
mask.
doctor. My
Yes.
Roadhog. We talked about me wearing my Roadhog
I'm ready to
mask.
get the full beak on
But
it.
then I'm just like, everything's just coming back into my face and it's...
Good thing I'm invincible. Anyway, and invincible.
Oh, okay.
And working the board, making everything look pretty, setting up the show. And she was cussing her head off because Facebook wasn't working. It's Cora.
Hi, I'm gonna kill Facebook personally myself later.
So, like I said, guys, we apologize. It's something that we weren't aware of until we went to air because normally this crap works. But you got a better explanation of actually what's going on, right?
Yeah, a little bit. Basically, as of yesterday, August 1st, they have strengthened, I guess, the strength of some of their authenticity, like, regulations. So basically, it won't cross-post from Twitter to Facebook anymore, and there's a number of, like, token and authenticator issues and a lot of programs that may or may not be fixed. Yay!
Yay!
Facebook.
Yay.
But thankfully we have that one commercial that made us all feel better about Facebook, right?
The John Oliver commercial.
The John Oliver commercial.
That man is just a treasure.
He is
Yes.
a treasure. I want to have enough, like, money and lawyers to get to say whatever I want, because I know it may seem like I do already, but that is definitely not the case. I hold a lot back.
I love when he's like, but that's exactly what we did after setting something up.
Yeah, something ridiculous. Of course we didn't do
6
that,
months,
except
like,
that's what we did.
By far, the televangelist thing was my favorite.
Oh, it was
Oh,
beautiful.
my gosh.
Which is exactly what we did.
I don't know. I think that, like, the bucket-headed English guy,
The Lord Bucket.
Lord Buckethead stunt was way up there. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He's a good man. Anyway, we are 2 down. Bryce is off in Las Vegas at the biggest Star Trek convention out there.
Which I couldn't go to.
Yeah. I'm hoping he brings us some pretty cool pictures and video. We know he's having a good time. So
I think he was either doing DJ Spock or Punk Rock Spock.
Punk rock Spock.
Awesome.
I knew
Yes.
he'd done it in the past. I didn't know he was talking about DJ. I was kind of trying to help him set up a records kind of thing, but I don't think it was ready yet. So, you know, we miss you, Bryce. Not really. A little bit.
I'm pretty sure he'll give us a full rundown of what he experienced out
Go
there
check out
next
his
week when he comes.
Instagram if you're not following it. He has the coolest pictures of his, like, escapades.
Yeah.
Also, I want to apologize to our viewers. I used the wrong lower third this week, and Jason is now Ricardo.
Oh God, no!
That's a bummer.
That means you're the intern now.
Not
Oh.
You're going to have to start complaining a lot more.
Yeah.
a chance. Anyway,
Burn.
wow.
Savage.
I didn't hold that one back.
Anyway, guys, you know how we kick this thing off. Let's go ahead and start up some super cool nerd news. Hi, welcome to Super Cool Nerd News. Anyway, also we hope you all enjoyed our Monday segment, which will be a little bit of a more extended version of Super Cool Nerd News. Check that out, and we're going to be doing that weekly. Everybody's going to be trading out and doing it too. So, or it'll be me a lot. So anyway,
Jason a lot.
so my first story tonight was on crap. Infinity War came out this week. I had the wrong tab up here.
Jason has the white pages of death.
So unprofessional.
I know. So Infinity War came out this week, and there's lots of cutscenes in there, and you know, I really don't like the Russos filming scenes that were not in that movie to totally throw us off. Damn y'all, but it worked. It worked.
It did.
It worked. But they did reveal a little bit more out the movie. Like, for one, Thanos apparently did know who Tony was. Because he kind of foiled the whole thing. So, yeah, he knew exactly who Tony Stark was. They were a little bit more expressive on also why the Hulk would not come out. And basically, he's sick of Banner. It's like, you only want me when something's wrong, so I'm not coming out to play. And that's it. I always said it was because he took his first really good butt kicking from Thanos, but Infinity War, the special edition and all the commentary and everything, it's so jam-packed. And as if this movie wasn't bad enough, you go into like all the, not bad in a way, but with everybody dying, they really go into more detail about it. So it's kind of a plug this week for that, but the Infinity War, get the extended edition with all the stuff on there because it really clears up. It adds more to the conversation. Low, yeah. Woo! Yeah. I thought I was ready to see that again. No. Also, Leslie Jones was live tweeting. Yeah, this was all a lead in to this story here. Leslie Jones apparently had not seen Infinity War and live tweeted the whole thing. Please go follow her account at LessDog on Twitter.
She's a treasure.
She's a national treasure.
I loved her reaction at the end. Why didn't y'all tell me it was going to end like this?
Yeah.
Why'd y'all let me go into this? And then when Nick... can I do spoilers on Infinity War? The final scene. Okay, the final scene.
I need my spoiler sign. Spoiler.
The final scene, when she sees the pager, she goes, "Oh my God, who was he calling?" Brie Larson responded on Twitter and said, "New number, who this?"
That was my favorite part. That was magical.
So, if anything, go watch Infinity War and read Leslie Jones's tweets at the same time because it is one of the best things to happen this week. I love Leslie Jones.
I love her Twitter specifically. She just doesn't let people get her down. Yep. She's campaigned on Twitter to get like racists taken off her Twitter, and she's just been like, "Hey, you guys fix this." When she couldn't get a dress for the Ghostbusters premiere, she threw a fit and sent out an open tweet, and then Christian Siriano, who was a designer that I loved from like Project Runway.
I love him.
Yeah, and he was
he's
really
amazing.
Like size-ish, I guess, when he was on the show, but he's grown a lot, and he was like, "I got you," and he made her a beautiful dress.
So are you saying that since he did other things that were maybe not so great, that he's grown as a person? And maybe has changed a little bit?
Save it for later.
Save it for later.
I can hear you. He shouldn't be allowed to be a designer.
Ooh, it's like a chainsaw in that first pull.
Never again.
Who cares?
Quit pulling the cord. Ooh, I can tell it's like, boom, and it didn't start up, but it's about to on the next one. Just wait for it. Wait for it. Why don't you tell us what you got for the news this week, huh?
I have peanut butter on my arm.
What?
Actually, no. One thing I did want to mention, it's not my story, I just wanted to mention it. If you know who Christian Borle is, he was on Smash, he's a Broadway legend. He is directing his first play. And I'm really, really excited about that. I don't remember the name of the play because I didn't care.
To the producers for
sorry about that. It's just something that I was really excited about because Christian Borle.
She'll allow it.
Okay,
I will allow it because it's theater news, and I will always make room for that.
Oh, good. Good to know.
Okay.
Speaking of which,
I'm sorry. Could you hear me roll my eyes?
You remember Aunt May and Spider-Man? Apparently, she's still alive. The original one, the one with that garbage guy. What is his name? Tobey Maguire.
Really, we're glad to hear that anyone involved with any form of Spider-Man is still alive. We heard in theaters specifically.
It was Sally Field, right?
Not the first one, no. No, Sally Field was in Andrew Garfield's.
Oh, that's right.
Rosemary, I can't remember her last name. Anyways,
I have the internet.
Let's talk about MoviePass. So, MoviePass has been in the news due to a very unfortunate weekend. But I wanted to just real quick, if you haven't been paying attention or really haven't cared enough to, I just want to give like a quick rundown on MoviePass's history. So, 2011, they go into beta. They got 19,000 people to sign up in one day, and they started their service.
What is their service?
Their service was you pay $10 a month, and basically you can see any movie at any time, one movie a day, but you can see any movie. If this seems like a bad idea, as
like a
far
great
as
idea.
financial for the company goes.
Oh.
You,
Yeah.
you might be right. Anyways, 2014, AMC enters into a deal. So they've got AMC. In December 2017, MoviePass starts charging $10. I don't know what they were before that. 150,000 people sign up in 2 days. We'll get to that in a second. AMC also announces that they're not welcome at their theaters, which is fun. CEO Mitch Lowe says they will succeed by selling people's data, which, as we all know, is a great way. It's a great business model. Anyways, April 2018, we get they'd been losing $20 million per month since September, but they had 3 million people signed up for their service. June, AMC launches their service, which is $20 for essentially the same service. So that seems like a really bad idea. July, they had to borrow $5 million because they can't pay the bills. And as of this Tuesday,
Who lent them $5 million?
dude, I don't
Lend
know.
them money.
And this Tuesday, they announced a $5 price hike. As of right now, AMC has a deal. It's still $20. Cinemark has a deal that's $8.99 per month, 1 free movie a month, and you get 20% off of concessions, which is like, okay, but your movies are all over. So if you don't see a movie per month, then it rolls over, I guess. Alamo Drafthouse is also launching a similar service. We do not know the price of that yet, but if it's done the way Alamo Drafthouse does most things, it will be better than all of the other ones combined.
And also
And then-
a little bit more.
And they will have our money immediately.
Yeah.
So basically, MoviePass had to borrow a ridiculous amount of money. This $5 million was borrowed over 1 weekend. And now, yeah, you can't see any major movies. You can't see a movie more than once, and a $5 price hike. And I guess, after all this, MoviePass August 2018 is basically saying, new phone, who dis?
Nice callback.
Thank you. It was
I
cats.
give them 2 months. 2 more months.
Oh, yeah. No, they're
This
they're
sounded
done.
like a bad idea off the bat. I was like, nah, you ain't getting my money.
Like, there's no way.
There's no way in hell.
Their problem was, I think, actually just undervaluing their service. I feel like
Yeah.
if they'd sold it for, I don't know, 25, 30 bucks, I have friends who would have gone in on that. Any movie, any theater. But, like, they didn't ask for the upfront money they would need to sustain a service.
I mean, it didn't take them long for them to start putting restrictions on what you can do and a little bit. Well, you can't see first run movies, or
Well, you
have
can't
to pay
see
a little
opening
bit more.
night, or
I
you
just-
can't, yeah.
I was like, and there we go. This is why I did not give them money.
See, and they were after the true movie lovers, and when you throw up restrictions like that, that's when we are like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I give them 2 months.
Yeah.
If that.
So the
Yeah.
quick rundown on the train wreck that has been MoviePass. It made me really sad because we knew that this wasn't going to last, but also, like, I want to see movies. I want to see movies all the
Movies
time
are
for not very
expensive.
much money.
I think
Yeah.
they're ahead of their time on a subscription service that
Yeah.
will do the right thing. They hoped they could get like grandfathered into as other companies were rolling it out, and they didn't do it right. Sorry guys, you didn't do it right.
You tried and you failed.
Well, what have you got this weekend?
I have a story that the story's about the story a little bit.
Oh,
Wall
do tell.
Street Journal posted something, I think yesterday or over the weekend, that parents are paying Fortnite tutors for their kids, like up to $20 an hour to teach their kids how to play Fortnite. And the internet went effing insane.
Yeah.
Like, all these parents, and they want their kids to be professionals and blah, blah, blah. I saw this story for the first time, I think on Monday, and I've been thinking about it for a few days, and I've decided that everyone's freaking the F out over nothing.
Yeah.
It's actually extremely common in sports to have a coach or a tutor to help your kid, even if they have no goals of going professional, just to get a little bit better at it. If
Yeah.
you really enjoy something, you want to be good at it. And so to pay them for a couple of times just to help them get a little bit of an edge.
Some
I think
things
it
can't be
makes
taught.
perfect sense.
Get good.
Okay, if sports can be taught, then
Yeah.
video games can be taught.
Video games can absolutely be taught. You are wrong. And
Well, I'm not
you're-
saying that. I'm just saying,
No.
wow, paying people. Okay, fine.
I don't think that it's necessary, really, but I do think that it could be helpful. It's usually helpful to have an unbiased, like, bystander watch something you do and tell you what you could tweak.
For anything that you want to get better at.
Yeah, I mean, it's very similar to, like, if your kid likes football. Let's say your kid is really into football. You get a coach for that. Your kid is really into gymnastics. You get a coach for that so they can get better because they want to be better.
Yeah.
Video games are no exception. I think this is actually a really interesting idea, and it'll be fun to see where this goes in the future.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I looked at it, and after thinking about it for a few days, I'm like, I may in the future pay somebody, I don't know, $10 to do a VOD review if I know that they're good enough to do a review of one of my games, to watch it and just tell me what the number 1, number 2 things I should be working on. It beats toxic people in your chat saying, GG losers.
Yeah, because
That's why women should be healers.
like, as someone, like,
We don't
as
get
someone
to
who's
that one
played a healer and a tank in RPG games before, like World of Warcraft and stuff, I had never done that before. I had no idea what I was doing. I got yelled at, but no one would tell, like, they're like, you're so bad at this. But none of them took the time to tell me why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Having someone there to tell you why is very, very helpful.
I don't play a whole lot of Fortnite. I can see it being helpful from the Fortnite I've played. I play an off-tank mostly in Overwatch. It is considered the most like multitasking position in the game.
Yeah.
You're supposed to peel for your healers. You're supposed to peel for your front line. You're supposed to
Know where everyone is.
know where everyone is. You're supposed to block ults as you can. You know, somebody helping you to prioritize that could be really helpful.
In
Instead of,
similar-
like, why weren't you up here? Why didn't you eat that grab?
That's
Well,
what the mute button is for. As soon as I hear a voice that sounds under 10 years old on Overwatch, I mute them.
Oh, it's usually, one of my family members, but not her.
No, not me.
Hi, I got
bad
a
at
button.
Overwatch.
Mute. There we go. Glad they said that before the
Bangs on
match started.
wall. Hey, do this better.
I think that actually did happen one time, but I think it was me yelling at Cameron for being toxic.
Yeah.
In similar news, wait for me to open up. I'm gonna start coaching. I don't know, juggling. How about juggling? If you can coach, I mean,
You can juggle?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
I went. Of course, I did my stage combat and circus skills class in college.
Every time I tried to sign up for that class, it was full, and I was mad.
Dude.
Practice
You
an
guys went to
actual
school
class.
together.
Yeah, we did.
We did.
I forgot.
Yeah, no, it was an amazing
I
class.
always forget that I'm the
I'm
newbie
so
here.
upset that I never got to take it.
It was so much fun.
I know.
But yes, I know how to juggle.
Well, Cora, what's your news story?
Balls, not priorities.
Alright, so this is actually a perfect story for going into the Halloween season because I don't care what anyone says. It is Halloween season.
Yay!
And
Spooky, scary.
There's really nothing else until the,
Shivers.
Down your spine. Da, 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 da.
I can't remember.
Tonight.
yeah.
Spooky, scary, spooky, scary. Okay, I'm done.
One thing I really like to do around this season is I like to go back and I like to read some Junji Ito manga. Just get all that nice body horror in my brain. It's a bad choice. Don't ever do that. I
Do you
never
do it
learned.
at like 2 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when I read the weird one with the wall and the weird stretched out people.
Oh, no, thank you.
No, that was a bad
That
choice.
was
Not-
terrifying.
Right before
Yeah.
you go to bed.
But, of course, I'm not the only person that loves Junji Ito. As a matter of
Of
fact,
course not.
there is a specific game creator by the name of Pansta on Instagram. He's a Polish game developer, and he created a game called World of Horror. Now, this isn't a new game. It's been in development for about a couple of years, and you can download the demo on his website. But what is new is this horrifying game is going to be coming to the PS4 and the Switch and Steam next year.
How much?
We don't know what the price is, but again, there is a free demo on the website. Well, technically, it's pay what you want, so you could download it for free. But it's a really
that's
interesting
an
game,
uncomfortable image.
right? This is actually an image that just like suddenly appears in the trailer, and I don't like it. It's very terrifying.
Oh, no thank you.
But the game basically is a mix of Junji Ito's body horror kind of monsters with H.P. Lovecraft's, like, how his old Eldritch gods work. Like, if you've ever played Arkham Horror before, it's like that, but with Junji Ito and with turn-based game, like, fighting. It'll be a one-bit kind of classic-looking game with lots of, like, that meaty kind of music. You'll have 5 different characters that you can play as, and they all have different takes on what's going on, and they all have their own storylines. And something that I've learned from kind of, like, I kind of went on his Twitter and just kind of started reading stuff on it. Apparently, like, of course, the choices you make change how the game works, and also what god is active will change how things are manipulated. Like, you can cast spells, but you'll lose sanity points as you do so, and you run the risk of your spell going wrong and disfiguring you. There are some very uncomfortable images of some of the characters with very disfigured faces. Like, one had like a slit all the way up the middle of their face. That was uncomfortable.
That is terrifying.
It's absolutely terrifying. If you want some nice horror, just go to his Twitter, at PANSTAS, and it's great. I started following it immediately. Like, it looks like a lot of fun, and I know, Jason, you weren't very enthusiastic with the trailer, but looking at the still images and looking at the GIFs and videos that he has on his page, it's a good horror game that I'm gonna actually try and play, and we'll see how that goes.
I've never been good with horror games.
Me neither.
There are a few lately that are making me want to retry some of them in the genre as a whole, but like, I like horror movies. I like horror movies kind of a lot. But diving into that world to observe it versus being in it are very different experiences from a personal stress standpoint for me so far.
And one of the things that he mentioned was his goal with this game was to create something that just kind of lingered with you after you play.
Oh, no.
So not something
Rude.
like, you know how like with Silent Hill you play it and you're terrified in the moment and then you can get over it?
Yeah.
But also with Junji Ito, that's a thing, that's a trademark of his where you've read it. Like, I read that story with the stretching like a year and a half ago, and every now and then it just comes back and it just stays with me. And that's what he's wanting to accomplish with his game. And honestly, I think he's already accomplished it.
You have to play the demo in the dark, and you have to stream it.
Oh no, I'm not playing it in the dark, but I'll stream it.
I won't try to scare you.
Exactly why I'm not playing it in the dark. I don't trust you.
Honestly, we should do like an all-night, like a slumber party stream some night, like on a weekend, some night where we all come play out scary games and stay till the next morning.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be fun.
I automatically refuse to play 5
Is there a
Nights at
release
Freddy's.
date for that game, by the way?
There is no release date. It was actually, this was announced like 2 days ago.
Oh, okay.
Or actually, no, I'm sorry. It was announced yesterday. I don't know time, apparently. But it was announced yesterday that it's going to be coming to the Switch, the PS4, and to Steam. So we don't have a release date yet. We just know it's going to be next year. But there's still quite a bit that he's done with the game already since he has been working on it for 2 years. So I have faith that it'll probably be out, I'd say about maybe mid.
I mean, we're a
next
demo
year.
already, right? So
Yeah, the demo is actually a version that you could just play automatically, and it finally got approved. Oh, that's one other thing. It's not just him bringing it to them. It is a game company, and I'm going to butcher this name. I am so sorry to any of our Welsh viewers. Asbrad.
we're huge there.
It's spelled YSBRYD.
Why? One more time?
YSBRYD, but why is it pronounced like A's?
I'm out.
So it's like Asbrad or Asbraid?
I'm out.
It would
Nope.
be probably at Acebrod,
Asbrad?
maybe.
I have no clue,
You
but
don't know.
that company is helping bring it over to the
wanna
Switch and
make
the
lots more
PS4.
How many
Almost
pizza
forgot to
smoothies
mention that
do you
little
want?
tidbit. But again, if you just search World of Horror game, it'll bring up his website and you can download the demo to play. It looks interesting enough that I want to play it. And he even on his Twitter, he's like, "This is why I don't practice. This is why I don't see what happens when certain gods are here, and it's just horrifying things that have happened to people that are there.
Nice.
Like
Cool.
it'll be interesting."
Want.
Horrifying.
Definitely want.
Well, there was one last bit of news, and this one's pretty tragic, actually. It was found that on the set of Aquaman, they had actually been exploding real sharks. Over 50 sharks were killed during the filming of Aquaman.
Jason
and
is super worried about
you guys
losing
should not.
our bet.
You shouldn't go watch this movie. Apparently, there's lots of investigations of animal cruelty. I don't know where it's going to go. I'm a journalist. I'm just reporting what I've heard.
I'm sure all
so
7 of our viewers
we'll verify that
knows
later. Instead of watching Aquaman, you should probably just go see Transformers. Don't give these filthy animal killers your money.
Okay, if you think that's bad, they have actually killed all the bumblebees in the world. Hope you didn't like honey. Don't watch that garbage.
Jason Momoa demanded that because he was barefoot for a lot of the scenes, he had to walk on orphans. So they hired like a team of 10 orphans, and they would like get up and lay down in front of him so his feet wouldn't have to touch the ground.
In fact, he wasn't wearing any clothes at all.
I mean, they did pay them, but you know, it's kind of like
I would let Jason Momoa walk on me.
it's kind of like the plunger bird on the Flintstones. It's a living.
I don't care. I would let him walk on me.
Stay tuned for more horrible stories from the set of Aquaman.
The scenes footage of him with no clothes
Oh,
at all.
behind? You can see behind.
You can see behind.
All that behind
footage.
See his behind.
I mean,
You
behind
see
the
the
scenes.
Apparently there was a
orphans in
scene
the
that's-
shot a little bit, but who's really
But
paying
like
attention to
not
that?
paying
To
attention.
hold the
Nope.
focus
But you
on
can
the
trust me,
blood.
Oh, yeah.
I will be watching for any more of these horrible stories breaking from the set of
You
Aquaman.
might have had
Well,
a
you
few
see,
people
I-
until you said you can trust me, and I think you lost them there.
Well, actually, I just got some breaking news. Hold on. Yes, hello? Yes, this is some breaking news from the set of Transformers.
The
It
film's
turns out
done. It's not.
it turns out that they used children's tears to mix the paint for Bumblebee. That's right. They used
rude.
Oh, thank you. They used children's tears, orphan children's tears.
How did they get them to cry? By making them watch the first 5?
Yes, actually.
Oh!
Damn it! I was gonna say the Made of Watch Justice
Actually,
League.
That was a good one. Yes, I love it.
Okay, for those who aren't keeping up or don't know, Jason and I have a little bit of a bet regarding the box office opening. I think Aquaman is going to do better. He thinks that whatever movie about the wasp or something.
Bumblebee
Yeah.
will do better.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's like John Cena, right?
Which is funny, and I'm feeling more confident once again as I left and texted people in the industry, like, kind of, like, who's going to do better? And they said I was right, so. Go see Aquaman.
Go
In
see
theaters,
Bumblebee.
November 18th.
November.
Now, for everyone to know, we are going to be going based on opening weekend numbers.
So Monday we'll calculate. We'll cross numbers.
Monday, we're going to check the numbers and we'll make a post on who won. And then we will post a video later of the loser doing their punishment. For those that don't remember, the punishment is if Transformers does better, Kat will have to sing a song from the original Transformers movie that Jason picks.
Yeah, Cass is not singing anything.
Yes, sorry. Your names are so similar. I'm horrible.
Yeah.
But
No, not that.
But if Jason
Just prove it did my homework.
loses, so if Aquaman does better than Transformers, he has volunteered to eat a pizza smoothie once again. And I'm sure
It's
all
funny she said eat it because you
it's
don't drink
too
it.
chunky. But in addition to that,
Oh.
Ricardo, myself, Cass, and Kat will be picking the ingredients that go into the pizza smoothie.
Aaron's gonna be mad if he's watching this.
Oh, I'm
He
sorry,
is-
Aaron. Oh, God,
he
I'm
is
so
watching.
sorry. Aaron,
He wants
please
you to sing Dare, by the way. No. I got her song picked out.
forgive,
like
forgive me,
anchovies?
Aaron.
Yeah, do you like anchovies?
I love anchovies. They're great.
Uh-huh.
Is that why you made a face last time we put it in the smoothie and you were sad that we used the liquid from the can to liquefy it a little?
Oh!
Oh, that's
I think I
disgusting.
threw it in my mouth a little bit.
Oh, no.
I
It
did.
was. Let me tell y'all a story real quick.
No, they can go to that video on our channel. No.
Just real fast. When we did this pizza smoothie before, wasabi mayonnaise was a choice. I actually don't recommend doing that again because we couldn't find it.
I wanted to do pizza toppings. Like,
We
we
did it as a charity thing, and if you could prove it was on a pizza somewhere, we allowed it.
Okay.
Okay.
Some son of a...
Someone chose that, but we couldn't find wasabi mayonnaise, so we got wasabi and mayonnaise, and we let Jason pick the amount of wasabi. Apparently, he still picked too much because all he tasted was wasabi and death. So we won't as a
What
note,
does death taste like?
I'm pretty sure I lost like 6 months of my life drinking that thing.
I will go ahead and
Yeah, you
say
felt you had 6
no
months
wasabi
to
of any
spare.
kind.
I know.
That might be a good idea because Jason almost threw up, and I don't want to see
My
that.
liver's my tank.
Anyways,
So,
Okay.
on that note,
So yeah, we'll see November. Y'all need to go watch Bumblebee. Don't let me down. Anyway, while we do have a theme for this show, and if you couldn't tell from the title, also our title was picked this week by producer Cora.
It's amazing. I
That was-
loved it.
darn right.
Yeah,
I'm
she-
so proud of
yeah.
this
What's the
pun.
title?
Jumping the gun.
Ha!
huh?
Jokes.
Like, you know, like James Gunn. I ruined it.
Now, we've talked about this on the show a couple times, and the outrage is still there because, to keep y'all in the loop here, Disney and Marvel Studios were made aware of some tweets that James Gunn made when he was 41 years ago, almost 10 years ago as well, that were dark humor at best. They were tasteless. But considering his background with Slither and some of the movies he made coming from Troma as well, this didn't seem out of place. They are not defendable jokes. We're not going to even entertain that. But it was done at a different time. And Disney kind of said, well, we can't have this. Now, mind you, I would also like to say that these tweets were brought to light by extreme right-wing people named Mike Cernovich and I forget the other guy's name. Cernovich was pretty much the driving force behind it to get their little army of trolls to keep putting it out there that, hey, oh my God, look at these things James Gunn said 10 years ago, which we had identified 6 years prior to that. And he had said, I apologize for these comments. I made them at a different time. I'm a different person. And yet still here we are years later. And Disney claims, oh, we were not aware of that. And they fired James Gunn on Nerd Weekend of San Diego Comic-Con. So that's where we're at now. The cast members of Guardians of the Galaxy have all thrown their support behind James Gunn. But if you're looking for them to walk off the set for any reason, they are in ironclad contracts. That is not going to happen.
Yeah.
But they have voiced that they don't agree with what's going on, and they've stuck up for him as much as they could in the position that they are. So I say that to all of them. Thank you guys for standing for one of your own. And over the past week, we've been talking about, like, the point of Guardians of the Galaxy is redemption, that you can change. Did James Gunn act on any of these things that he said? No, he absolutely did not. As far as we know, he didn't. He just made it as a joke. If we're going to start just punishing people for everything they said in the past that they've even recognized and apologized for, we're in a sad state right now. Now, Mike Cernovich has gone out and said, yeah, people are bringing up all the things. I said, yeah, dude, but you said them yesterday.
Yeah.
You have not expressed any remorse for what you said. They brought up, oh, well, they did this to Roseanne. Roseanne did repeated behavior like this, was told not to, continued doing it, and the company that employed her did fire her because she was warned. James Gunn had been on the job 6 years doing Guardians of the Galaxy, writing and directing it, and all of a sudden we want to bring up his past. And some people have even said, hey, Disney, we've kind of looked the other way on some things that you've done in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So here we are now, and we're not here like, I don't have any conception that Disney is suddenly going to go, you know what, guys, you're right, we're going to bring him back on board. I do think we've lost him for the time being as director for Guardians 3.
I think so. Honestly, I think the good of the petition and the good of the continuing voices and stuff like that, honestly, I feel like it's good for his career
Yeah.
to get hired for other things.
Yes.
To say, we don't think just anyone generally in the future, we don't think employing him is a mistake. We want to see things that he makes. You know what I mean? Like, that's where a lot of my focus is. I am curious to play devil's advocate for a second. Like, where is the line? This feels wrong to most people that I've talked to, that he got fired because of a lot of things. Like, what constitutes a redemption arc for us?
Well, one person I like who has also acknowledged his more raunchier past is Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy was one of my favorite comedians growing up. Raw, Delirious were some of the funniest things I ever watched as a kid. But there are comments in there that he has acknowledged, I can't do those jokes today. And look, Eddie Murphy went and made Daddy Daycare, as bad as that movie was. But he made a series of kids' films. The Dr. Dolittle series, even The Clumps and The Nutty Professor.
Shrek.
Exactly. And no one brings up the stand-up that he did, except when it's convenient to maybe run the guy down. But you can't really get away from that. I still watch Delirious, but some of those jokes now, I'm like...
So you think it's a time factor, or like
Times have changed.
or what's appropriate culturally at the time?
There is a, I don't remember what theater was doing this, but there was a theater that was having a classic cartoons night. And there was a piece that ran before they played any of the cartoons that said the references, the activities, the representations in this cartoon that we're about to play are offensive. They are racist and they are kind of horrifying. We are playing them in the context in which they were played to begin with. To deny that past and deny that these things are offensive would be what did they say? Would deny you understanding what that context was and how far we've come. And that's a little bit how I view James Gunn and a lot of people that have said offensive things in the past. One of my favorite shows, one of my favorite comedy shows of all times is MASH. MASH, by today's standards, is horrendously offensive in the way that they treat particularly women and people of color, particularly Asian people. They
at the time.
Yeah. They are not, it is not meant to be played in today's standards, but I watch it understanding that those things are absolutely offensive and understanding that those same creators, if they made a show today, would make a different type of show. And that's the number one thing that I think is the reckoning and the kind of acceptance that people move on. And James Gunn, from everything that we have seen, and a lot of creators from everything that we've seen, have evolved. Tina Fey, as an artist, there are some jokes in early 30 Rock that would not be okay today. She has evolved as a filmmaker.
Well, not just evolved, just moved with the times.
Yeah.
Like, there's been groups that have been like, hey, this bothers us. Don't do this anymore. And you don't necessarily have to evolve to say, oh, didn't know that. Okay. And that's, to me, is the healthiest thing. Like, it's not separating necessarily when they used to be an ignorant bad person. And I know that's not what you're saying. But they used to be an ignorant bad person and whatever. It's just keeping up, staying up with the new understandings we have. And for new things that evolve, things that bother us that didn't maybe used to, even in certain ways.
I think evolve is truly the key word there. Look, I remember watching Tom and Jerry cartoons and loving that, but then I always, like now, I see that housekeeper that they had. Thomas, y'all done got into the, and just this really just, and she was the maid and everything, and was very stereotypical. I remember laughing at it as a kid, but now I'm like, ooh, that was really, really racist. They've even gone so far as to like change the voice. But I remember seeing Bugs Bunny doing blackface. And you know what? That kind of humor is not acceptable anymore.
Mickey Mouse was originally blackface. The gloves, that was a thing that originated in the old, the minstrel or whatever. And it has evolved to a certain extent, although a lot of Disney has not evolved quite as far as it should.
Your shit does stink, Disney. I'm just saying. Anyway, things like that even now, like Pepe Le Pew. You know, Pepe Le Pew I thought was hilarious. Ooh, oh, my little pigeon, or whatever. And it's like, now,
you're like, oh, no. Yeah. That is really creepy.
That's a perfect example of one that didn't bother me growing up, which I would be one of the demographics made uncomfortable by. It didn't bother me growing up. It was funny.
But now it's kind of like,
it was a different species than him, and that's funny because, and now I'm just like, that's uncomfortable. She's not interested, leave her alone. And that didn't bother me, and then we've moved past that.
Yeah.
I mean, even Speedy Gonzalez at the time was very unaccepted until like, I got to the point where people like really started looking at it like, you know what, Speedy's not so bad. Yeah, he does have a Mexican accent, but he's fast. He always beats the bad guy, and
Yeah, and
so,
he's not the bad
so
guy.
Speedy has kind of like come back in, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe not as not as stereotypical. Let's tone it down a little bit. Let's bring it down to like maybe a 2. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's put him like maybe border,
Yeah.
Hispanic instead of like just deep. So times do change. James Gunn was not running away from any of this. He admitted he did it. So I don't know.
I think that's the other thing is that, and I'm going to the extreme in this example, but a lot of things that Donald Trump did were a long time ago, right? The tape that he was when he owned what is it, Miss America or whatever, that was a long time ago. His grab her by that tape was made a decent amount of time ago. Donald Trump has not changed. Like, the things that he said during the campaign were very much in the same vein as the things that he was saying 10, 15 years ago. And so he clearly does not have remorse, and he clearly has not changed as a person. And James Gunn has done both. And a lot of people have done both. And there are some people that are kind of in between, that they have a hard time apologizing, but they have changed. Stephen Moffat's one of those people. A lot of Stephen Moffat's earlier work doesn't involve a lot of people of color, and doesn't necessarily portray women in the best light. And then as he moved forward, that changed. And now he writes some of the most interesting women. I mean,
with some of the most interesting women too. Like,
yeah, he's had the first like 2 or 3 like lesbian couples on Doctor Who were all under Stephen Moffat. People of color being companions, a lot of that is done under Stephen Moffat. He changed a lot.
To like David Lynch.
I think another thing
piss a lot of people off. I don't
is
like
the
David
expressing.
It's just the evolved versus the staying in your own perspective.
And also, making a genuine attempt to say, you know what, I did say those things, but I'm sorry. And I'm not going to do that again. If it sounds genuine and from the heart, most people are going to believe you.
Yeah.
Like, okay, bringing up Roseanne again. She made an apology letter. She's like, I thought the bitch was white. That don't sound genuine to me at all.
Yeah.
Neither did her 45 minutes of ranting on Sean Hannity of how she's been made a victim.
Oh.
No.
If you're going to go prove that you're not racist, maybe don't go to Sean Hannity.
For real?
Like, and talk on his show. Like, seriously.
We had Paula Deen opening a restaurant here. Has opened up a restaurant here in Dallas or some sort of store like that or whatever. Yeah, exactly. I'm still kind of like, not yet, Paula.
Because that was
not
like
yet.
2 years ago, maybe?
Let's give you your butter with a side of racism.
Yeah, seriously.
And same note, one that I've
butter for my racism, it's not going down.
Hulk Hogan, when the tape got released where he used a couple of racial slurs and admitted, I'm a racist in a way too. Recently, he's gotten back into the good graces of WWE, and a lot of people are saying like, okay, he's made apologies over. I don't know if I'm willing yet. I know some of my favorite wrestlers, The New Day, they actually released a statement on it. They said, look, we don't have any hate towards him, but we don't exactly have any love towards him either. So we're indifferent on it. We're not looking to work with him. Maybe some conversations in the future. Maybe we can get there. So they didn't close the door totally. I think what they said probably is about as close as I am on how I feel about that whole situation. Because Hulk Hogan was my hero growing up, okay? Like, I Saturday night's main event, watching the Hulks, doing all that. And then to hear him say that, it was like, never meet your heroes.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I feel as though he has made genuine apologies. And maybe we can get there at some point. I don't know if I'm ready to get there, but I think we can.
Well, and that's something that, like, you have to decide for yourself. But I do wish as society we had kind of more of an understanding or a standard. I think of the Ninja Fortnite incident not too long ago where one of the most famous streamers in the world, a kid named Ninja, who's just generally positive
he's
and
a
very
good representative.
Person. He was singing along in a song, right? But he inserted the N-word
but he
into
said
the song, And then he came out and was like, dude, that was inappropriate. I'm sorry. I've been working on stuff. I don't see a big difference between my public and private life. I'm trying to do better. I'm sorry. Hang with me.
It was a good apology.
It
also,
really was.
Also, he said it in a song, and as a black guy, there are two very different versions of that word. There's one way to say it where, all right, we cool. And there's another way where punches start getting thrown.
Is it the hard R?
No, he said it up.
He said up?
He said up in a song. So,
and it's like, it's the one that you shouldn't necessarily use.
No, you shouldn't use it either.
As the acceptable alternative.
But then again, I'll admit, I have friends that we are there. We can make that comment. I mean, they may not have, but we are there that I would not instantly like take them down to the ground for a comment like that.
Yeah,
and there's an ER and there's an A. But back to the whole redemption thing. Look, if you go back on things I've said, I'm 40 years old at this point. Go back 20 years, go back 22 years, go back 25 years at things that I've said to people or how I've acted towards people. I am entirely ashamed of that because I had anger issues within myself, so that extended to other people. And I do feel bad about those, but I can't get that back. I live my life, my mantra is, I can only be a better man tomorrow than the one I was today. And when I see people like James Gunn apologize for things like that, I see that mentality. I did these things. I'm not going to run from it, but I'm not going to do it again.
Yep.
And that's kind of my thing. Like, it was examining like the outlying behavior and the apology and which one seems more consistent with who he is day to day. The comments he made or the learning and growing. And if you decide the learning and the growing is more consistent with the person that you see now, then that's kind of what I came to when thinking about this specifically, is that's my litmus test.
Yeah.
Like with Ninja, he's a positive person that seems very social and like he's into meeting a lot of different types of people. So the more consistent behaviors seem to be the learning and growing, not the incident where he used the word. And I've decided that's my litmus test, and it's going to be up to my judgment in each person, but that's why I've decided that no, I'm not mad at James Gunn. If anything, I'm proud of his response since then to who he used to be.
And I think part of that is reflected in his work, because there's kind of a tricky thing in comedy a lot of times, where you want to kind of push the limit, but also you don't want to be offensive. And for the most part, the jokes in Guardians of the Galaxy that he wrote and he directed, for the most part, I don't have a problem with most of them. And yes, there are some, I don't even know if I want to say inappropriate. Chris Pratt makes a Jackson Pollock painting joke about the inside of his ship.
Yes, yes.
Which is, it's funny. It is inappropriate in the, like, gross sense.
It's that kids won't get it. But
Exactly. And that is a very, very specific reference.
Which is almost more appropriate. Like, don't you want something your 5-year-old's going to be like, I don't know who that is. Move on. Yeah.
And you're like, oh, he's a painting. He's an artist. And you don't need to know anything about that. But
or how bloody and blurby it is.
This is something that was brought up in the chat from Tweotch on YouTube.
Hey, shout out, Kevin.
He brought up that there is an editor that just got hired to the New York Times named Sarah Zhang. I think I'm pronouncing her name right. I'm horrible with names. But she got hired to the New York Times, and she had quite a bit of racist tweets on her Twitter from 2014 and beyond. And New York Times has already released a statement, we hired her because of her technical writing and because of her work, basically. And I'm looking over some of her tweets now. Maybe I just agree with them because I also think white people should be canceled. Because white people keep calling the cops on black people that are just trying to eat lunch. But
seriously, that happened today.
And that did happen.
Sleep in their own dorms.
No, it was at a college.
Waiting room.
Somebody called the cops on a girl that was eating lunch in a cafeteria at a college because they said it looked suspicious.
Dude.
We're just talking about the
anyway, but that's a show topic for another time.
Yeah.
But
we'll just be quiet.
One of her tweets was, "I was equating Trump to Hitler before it was cool." Oh man, it's kind of. I'm sorry, that was funny.
It's funny because he's terrible.
Let's see.
Oh, my
man,
gosh,
it's
you're not
kind
wrong.
it's kind of sick how much joy I get out of being cruel to old white men.
Ooh.
Sorry.
Let's see. I open my mouth to politely greet a Republican, but nothing but an unending cascade of vomit flows from my face.
I mean,
And then one that's just hashtag cancel white people, which agreed. We should be canceled at this point.
Yeah.
or at
But-
least, at the very least, get to be quiet and let somebody else enjoy their joke. You know?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like,
And like,
probably a joke.
she was pointing out that, I've been facing hate on the internet as just being a woman of color for years, and she even included an image where someone had tagged her and said, if I saw you, I would sock you right in your lesbian face. I don't know what her sexuality is, but that's still inappropriate beyond reason. And one that says,
I would stab you in the neck.
Shut the F up, you dog-eating gook.
Oh.
And yet these people
Huh.
aren't canceled from Twitter and are not getting in any trouble.
Until Leslie Jones says something about it.
Seriously. Leslie Jones, our hero. Our savior.
Yeah, there was the treatment of some reporters at a recent Trump rally. Someone made the comment, "Hey, look, if you combine enough of them, you can have a full set of teeth." And people were getting mad, and he's like, "Oh, really? The people who are cursing out journalists and flipping them off are now upset that I'm making fun of them? Let me go get you your fainting couch. I don't give a."
I mean, that's what I've decided as a white person, that, like, I don't have to be scared because I'm white. So if people want to, like, make jokes and hurl jokes my way, maybe we have that coming.
Yeah.
Because of years and years and years and years and years where white people did whatever they wanted and they didn't care how any other group felt about it. I'm like, you know what? If we're laughing, if you want to laugh at me, we'll laugh together. And
Yeah.
also, I'm very sorry for what my
See,
ancestors
real quick, Twitch did give us a too long didn't read version of what's going on with it. Thank you, by the way.
Shout out.
She said some crap about white people. Now says it was a joke. New York Times is still hiring her. They said they had read the tweets and let Sarah know that it's not acceptable at work. Which, I mean, again, these tweets are
That's
old.
awesome.
Like a lot of these tweets, I'm
Ooh,
looking at the
they gonna be
dates.
mad.
They're
Yeah,
older
just- you can't make
tweets.
those at
Yeah.
work.
Like these
You
are,
can't make
let's
those
see,
jokes at
like
work.
some of these are
All the
dated
time.
as late as maybe 2015. So, I mean, that's completely acceptable to be like, okay, you can't do that anymore for sure once you're hired
At work.
at work. And that's acceptable to me. And honestly, maybe I just don't get offended that much by it. I didn't find those jokes offensive. I found a lot of them very truthful, honestly.
Yeah.
I find it fair play.
I like that
in
y'all were laughing at
England,
your.
they have fair play.
Yeah.
Like, which is, if some stuff went down and it was just in the nature of playing the game, then you just say fair play and you move on. And that's how I feel about jokes about white people.
Yeah.
And also, this is kind of in the vein what they tried to do with Roseanne. They're like, hey, those aren't acceptable things to say. But the difference here is Roseanne didn't stop. She
Yeah.
continued to do so.
And showed no remorse.
And showed absolutely no remorse until she got fired. Now she's upset.
I was actually relieved when I found out she had been doing that on a continuing basis, because at first I was terrified because Ambien actually does mess with your brain a
Yeah.
lot, and I'm on it. I don't tweet
Yeah,
on
but
it
she's-
because I'm not an idiot. But like, I was like, what if she was making a totally random association in her brain that had nothing to do with it? And then I was like, oh no, wait, she's a terrible person all
Yeah.
around all the time. Never mind. Get rid of her. I'm not saying you can be racist on Ambien and that's fine. That's not what I'm saying. I'm
Yeah.
saying it puts you in this mind state where you're bonkers. It's a hallucinogen for some people. And you can make associations that literally don't make any sense to you any other time.
Yeah.
But back to James Gunn, you also have to look at the source that wanted it to report. Now, James Gunn does make a lot of politically charged tweets on his Twitter. And because he's quick-witted, he gets the better of some of these right-wingers that try to go after him.
Yes.
Because, sorry, you came to this battle of wits unarmed. And this man is packing like
That's
freaking...
literally what he gets
Yeah.
paid for.
Now, Mike Cernovic, whom I'm going to admit is a piece of trash, has made rape jokes. He's...
He's written fan fiction.
He's a pretty disgusting individual. And he made these and has never apologized for it. In fact, he's doubled down on them. The Daily Caller, a right-wing rag, has employed him, knowing that he made these comments, and like I said, has never expressed any remorse for them. And suddenly, he's the one that gets preach morality? I don't think so. I haven't seen him go, I have changed my ways. No, he's still up to it. He calls everyone who disagrees with him on Twitter a pedophile. And anything that's basically what he found on James Gunn. He made a pedophilia joke. He must be a pedophile. Everybody who this guy disagrees with, he calls a pedophile. He'll probably call me one day. If you're lucky. He blocked me on Twitter. I went after him. So, I don't get the chance unless anybody else. If he tweeted me, go ahead and let me know because I'm going to get him. But what'd you say about me on the internet, Pulp? Anyway, Cernovic is a garbage human being. And I don't like to really dignify his existence because, honestly, he doesn't do anything of importance to get banned for the horrible shit that he says.
Fires.
He's got a freaking webcam and enough time on his hands because he doesn't have a real job. No one will hire this man. So, he can go fuck himself as far as I'm concerned. Yes, I am saying that there is a definite difference between what he does and what James Gunn did.
Yeah.
Because he currently does shit like this. He loves to throw bottle rockets, and he's basically turned what they say is snowflake outrage and weaponized it.
I am getting so tired of that phrase. Because more and more, they're showing that they're the snowflakes by just going nuts over stupid stuff.
So
just my 2 cents on that one.
Regardless, I mean, he is not the person to tell me, that'd be like George Burns coming back to life and saying, Jason, you drink too much. George, go to hell. Oh, wait. Sorry. It ain't going to happen, okay?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to let this piece of trash try to preach morality when, it's literally casting stones in a glass house. So
I wish he would. It would fall around him and maybe his computer would break. But I've been thinking about this a lot. She and I had some long conversations about doing a live format show. Like, we were kind of concerned before we came on SCNS. Doing something live, we would have to be associated with everyone in this room, and it would all be in a group, and, we didn't all know each other that well, and it is concerning sometimes. What if you say something that comes out wrong? What if you do something that can be misinterpreted? What if something is appropriate at the time and in the future you look back and it's not? And I guess as a show, all I can promise is that we'll learn new information as it comes up and try not to hurt anyone, genuinely hurt anyone, and I'll still throw out a lot of snapbacks whenever I feel like it.
that hurts my feelings. So.
Except for Jason's.
But I feel like that is what we can expect from all of our creators. I feel like that is, I don't know, that's the bottom line to me, is that whatever you do, whoever you are, you need to learn from your mistakes. You need to understand the context of the society around you, and you need to be aware of the other people that live where you do and the people that you affect in your life. And I feel like that's the number one thing that James Gunn has done. He has learned from society. He has learned what is acceptable. He has learned from his past mistakes, and he doesn't make them anymore. And sure, he's going to make mistakes in the future. We all are. But at a certain point, if you are actively trying to change yourself for the better, I don't think I can judge you.
I mean, like, Guardians 2, spoilers, #spoilers, like, Michael Rooker's character, his death was like, maybe there's not a binary with good people and bad people.
Yeah.
Maybe some people should have been doing better all along. But, there can be good and bad people and bad and good people, and just learning and growing. I thought his death was actually really touching because he wasn't doing the best that he could, and mostly he's kind of the villain. But like it showed
when it counted, he did it. He rose.
And then he came through in his death for a redemption arc, and I thought that was really touching.
So, and that is kind of the point of Guardians of the Galaxy. So,
and maybe delete your Twitter histories.
Well,
You just want to throw that out there. There's an IFTTT, if this then that, never mind, it's a program that can delete your Twitter history for like more than 2 weeks ago. That I was like, oh, that's not terrible.
A good comment from our buddy Aaron over at One of Twin Powers Activate Show.
Hey!
Can't change the past, but maybe if you're lucky, you can change with time. That's a
If
good
you're
one.
lucky and you try. And you
I
will.
like that quote.
Good quote, Aaron. We should have had you back.
That's why we're gonna.
Huh.
Y'all can friend him on Facebook too if you need. So anyway, and follow his
Not
show.
here.
One of Twin Powers Activate Show.
Yes.
Yes, we will be having a lot of people did like Aaron in the chat, so we're done. We'll have him.
Oh, we only miss Bryce a little bit now.
Oh,
Hurry up.
I haven't seen him in like a
Your
month.
spot can be sold.
But anyway, guys, I think that's a good note. And above all, hashtag rehire James Gunn.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, I don't. The petition now is up to over 350,000 signatures currently, and still rising. I'd like to think at some point maybe Disney would go, maybe we can show some forgiveness. We've certainly shown it to you, Disney.
So to the 150,000 people that are watching live right now, just go sign the petition, please, so we can get it over 500 grand.
We still got time before Guardians 3 starts filming. So
They actually don't have anybody in sight.
well,
from what
we've
I've
got
read.
We've got till 2019 for that, right?
Yeah, and
End of 2019.
The directors, the usual suspects of people that they've been hiring, are kind of tied up right now. Like the Russo brothers are tied up, and
I think it will be unfair to whoever has to come in and take over those reins too, because they are going to be judged heavily.
they will be judged heavily, and it's gonna, like, honestly, I feel like it's gonna feel like a DC movie, which is what happens when too many people get involved, too many cooks in the kitchen. You need that singular vision to carry it through. Directors are
Someone had
important.
mentioned that they think that the whole firing of James Gunn happened because of the Fox merger, and now that the Fox merger has, like, it's finalized. It's finalized,
Yeah.
so we're in the process of doing
There's
that.
still some overseas stuff apparently that still needs to be done, but it's pretty much done.
It's pretty much done. They think that maybe that had something to do with it, so it's like, oh, this problematic person that's suddenly come back into the news is not with us anymore. They may bring him back. They may. I can't speak for Disney. I can just hope that they do, because I do like his style. But I wanted to throw that in there at least.
We will think better of you, Disney, if you did. But anyway.
Yeah, we would think that maybe you understand things with context and you're not just blanket judging what's going on.
And again, admitting your mistakes, correcting them, and moving forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd be a great lesson. I would love to see Disney be like, oh, that was a bad idea, but we've grown.
Oh!
Yeah.
Instead of just like, I don't know.
You hear that, Disney? Because you're totally watching.
Disney.
Hey, a rare moment where Jason and I connected as people.
It's very rare.
It is rare.
It's going to be gone 2 seconds from now.
1, 2.
Aquaman sucks.
Over.
There we go.
Oh!
He talks to fish.
I would be
can talk
afraid
to
if I was
Cthulhu.
going to have to drink a pizza smoothie too, so I forgive you. Not scared.
Get him.
Hashtag not scared.
Anyway, so that is a good point in the show. Guys, thank you for joining us for the conversation. Great time in the chat. If you're watching this afterwards, leave us comments in the chat what you think about the whole situation. We'll listen. We'll probably give a response or something.
Yeah, good topic too.
But also, it's been a really great
Self-5.
It has been a really great week to be on our YouTube channel. We've started up our news segment, releasing Mondays. Cora was back with her, not Cora's Anime Corner, just Cora's Corner, doing a great review of the
Adventure Zone.
Here there be Gerblins.
Here there be Gerblins, which she can't loan you after she finishes because I get it first.
Yes.
Which is really good. Go check that out. I've got a game review. I meant to finish it last night, and Kat was like, no, you need to go to bed, because I was just not creative at all. So watch for that coming this weekend. Maybe do some streaming. She's planning on doing a demo this weekend.
Yep, I'm gonna try and do a demo of World of Horror this weekend at some point, because I really want to play this game. I really do.
So if you want to see all of that stuff, you need to make sure you hit that like button, and while you're on your way, hit that subscribe button and go ahead and check out some more of our videos. But that is it for us tonight. If you want to follow me, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at JasonTheX. Kat, where can they find you?
They can find me on Instagram at BetterCat. You can find me on Twitter at TweotchBadMoon. where I yell about Overwatch League stuff, or at a joint account at DOA, D-O-A, Drawings, where we draw terrible things the Overwatch League casters say as cartoons.
We draw things that they say terribly. I think.
They don't say a lot of terrible things.
Not
but
usually.
It's all Overwatch League jokes. So, yeah, for all.
If you like that, or if you
half of
don't.
you out there. It's hilarious.
Twitch is the best. I love him in the chat.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
Disney should watch Aladdin.
Oh. That would be
Or
Kevin.
Aristocats.
Bringing the Burn. Also check out his show. I'm going to go ahead and plug it.
Yeah.
Twitch. It's our brother. We're a very entertaining family. And sometimes Cass is on there. Sometimes I pop up and scream about Overwatch League for a few minutes.
We
Where can they
Patrick.
find you socially?
we did a stream recently. Twitch and I did a stream on Twitch and I think YouTube as well of streaming Mega Man X
Oh, sweet.
because it came out for the
Ooh.
PS4.
Harder.
It was so much harder. We fixed it actually, and then it got so much easier. We beat the whole thing in like 2.5 hours.
Where can they find
Anyways,
you?
they can find me at Cass_Bradley, KAS_Bradley. That is Instagram and Twitter. Twitter, I'm pretty active. Instagram, not as much.
Name's on the screen.
But also super quick movie for super quick movie reviews and some game reviews and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. That's both of us.
Oh, that is also both of us. Yeah.
And Miss Core, where can they find you?
So you can find me on Instagram at Korodono, Korodono, where I post some of my artwork. I've started doing D&D requests, so every other week when I have my regular D&D game, I'll take requests, and you could get things you want drawn. You can also find me on Twitter at HawksPerch. Again, I just scream into the void about Suikoden until other people scream at me back.
But you've been engaged in a project, too.
Yes, I've actually started my first OAK, which is original...
Oak?
Yeah, Oak. One of a kind is what it stands for. Doll custom. I'm working on making a doll for a character from Suikoden for Suikoden Day in September.
Yay.
So if you want to follow that process of me screaming at paper mache, you can join that.
Nice.
What could be more fun?
Exactly.
So that is our show. Thank you guys out there for joining us. We'll see you, well, I don't know if we're going to see you next week because it's kicking off QuakeCon, which we will be present at QuakeCon. Make sure you come check that out. It is at the Gaylord Texan. It is the largest LAN party. Well, I don't know. With the recent downsizing of the venue, are they still the largest LAN party? I don't know.
Oh. We'll be
I don't know.
asking lots of techie, nerdy questions.
Yes.
I'm so excited. I've never been before. And I used to work IT. I know quite a bit about computers. I'm going to be like, tell me about your graphics card, please.
We're
There's-
probably going to do... Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
They're also going to have food trucks there for the first time at the Gaylord.
Hey!
And
We're like, food!
Bethesda just announced that they're going to have at least 3 people dressed up like Volt Boys walking around the con.
Really?
Nice.
And they look adorable, and I want to meet them. And I want to hug them.
Those suits are awesome.
We're going to try and get lots of interviews and, like, meet people.
And hopefully, like, give you some video from the floor as well. We got some gear that we're going to test out there. Get some.
do it. Oh, yeah.
Yes, we do.
I'm
So
psyched about the gear, too.
we're
I'm a
gonna
nerd.
really do some
Not
good
me.
stuff at QuakeCon. Make sure you check us out.
Then get out.
Next weekend we'll be out there as much as we can. So anyway, that has been our show tonight, guys. Thank you for joining us. And next time we'll see you. Well, we'll see you next week. And as we always say, keep on nerding.
Nerdin'.
Yeah, I screwed it up.
Fish tacos!
You did everything.
I know,
Fish
right?
That was for you, Bryce.
Miss you, Bryce.